As a lawmaker, what do you think can be done to mitigate all these loopholes we see in our acts and policies?
Okay, thank you so much. You practically said it. First, I'm a lawmaker,
Yes.
and we have three arms of government: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. As a lawmaker, our responsibility is basically lawmaking, representation, and oversight. And the executive is saddled with the responsibility to, carry out execution of all the laws for the good governance of the people. And of course, the judiciary is to interpret where there are cases of, people interpreting the law to suit them. I've just told you now that the section 18(8) of the Police Act says that it did not exempt anyone, police officer recruited into the Police Service Commission or by the Police Service Commission shall serve in the police force for a period of 35 years or when he attains 60 years, whichever one that comes first. And again, about mid last year, 2024, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, sent an executive bill to amend, a section of that act that enables the Inspector General of Police appointed by the President to stay a period of 4 years. And now, I am telling you, as a Nigerian, that the law does not permit Mr. President at this point to appoint anyone outside the police to become the Inspector General of Police. Now that there's ambiguity in this case, I think the judiciary need to come up with a clear interpretation, even though that there are already, proposed amendments to amend that section of the Police Act 18(8) to now make the issue of 35 years to become 40 years and the issue of 60 years to become 65. So for me, I think, in my personal opinion, it does not encourage the morale of those serving in the police force, even though the position of IG is not guaranteed to every policeman that you must attain that position of IG, because it's practically political, because it's an appointment, through the Police Service Commission by the, president. But then again, the number one police, which is the IG, is still within the ranks of the police. And not until that position, the person occupying that position leaves the service, it will not create opportunity for other ones. But then again, let's assume that the current Inspector General of Police was recruited into the police force with 1,000 others across the country the same year, and possibly they are the same age. For those other people who have not had the privilege of becoming Inspector General of Police, they are retiring at age 60. And the man that they were recruited together, same year, born of the same year, served, through in the service together, are retiring at age 60. So you could see the discrepancy. So for me, it's something that, yes, we need to talk about so that we can, seal up these loopholes. I want to believe that Mr. President's idea to actually, spell out the tenure of an Inspector General of Police was actually born out of a genuine concern to helping to strengthen the institution of the Nigerian police, because they are the law officers of the nation. And once you have somebody, come up to such a position, the person should be able to have enough time to be able to bring in policies and programs to strengthen, such an institution. But the person in question, considering the fact that the person has attained the retirement age, that is where this whole controversy is coming from. So, however, the judiciary also needs to, I don't know if anybody has approached, the court to interpret the clauses of this. The best that we have heard is the interpretation of the Attorney General of the Federation again. That could be seen as the mouthpiece of the government. So if the people are concerned, a court of competent jurisdiction should be able to make a clear statement that will now become a clear precedent as to what it should be. And as law-abiding citizens in Nigeria, everybody will have to, go through that route.
Okay. Thank you very much for for shedding more light and clearing the air on that. We are from a state that just went through elections. That was last year. And I think you were number 3 man in the state before you came to Abuja. And we also understand, we've been clamoring. I know during your time as a speaker in the House, you fought for autonomy of the legislative arm of government, which I think Edo State is one of the few states that have the autonomy of the legislature. And the autonomy of the local government has been something that has been pressing, pressing in your heart. So to experience it and to see the president finally, the president himself, we faced stiff opposition because everybody pays lip service to governance. The people want autonomy for the local government, but in some states the governors don't want it. But the president, given his own experience as a governor, when he was the governor of Lagos State, how he had to had a face-off with the then president, His Excellency President Olusegun Obasanjo, and when he tried to create local government and development authorities because of the size. Because I believe, I'm of the opinion that for grassroots development to thrive, do you understand? You have to take governance down to the people, and to do that, you have to break them into smaller areas so you can administer governance properly. So for the president, when he got the chance to become president, just like I'll come to that question. Just like I'll ask you now, what are your priorities in your tenure? I will come to that question. Now, the president had some priorities he set up. It's something like, when I become president, based on my experience, these are the things I want to do. And I think one of those priorities was local government autonomy, based on his own experience with President Olusegun Obasanjo. So now, given that, and he came into power and he tried to get the Supreme Court to establish it, the autonomy for the local government and everything, and seeing what is happening in the states, where the local government chairman, where we saw it on the news, some were suspended. We had some people, some of the councillors, at times the minority of the councillors started assuming the roles of local government chairman, and we are from what we could see, we know there's a process to impeachment of any chairman, any speaker, the president, the governor. There's a process to impeachment. So we know that some of those processes were not followed. So what does that spell for the gains that the federal government has made in terms of local government autonomy, and trying to make that law so that the allocations can be given directly to local governments to drive development in rural areas? What does that space? Is that a setback? What can you please what do you think about that?
Well, first, when Mr. President was being sworn in, he did mention that he came prepared for this job, and that no one should actually, have any pity for him, because he knows what he asked for and that he's prepared to. And soonest we saw that, one of the major move and one of the things that Mr. President have to his CV today as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria within a space of 2 years is to get a clear Supreme Court interpretation of what local government financial autonomy stands for and what local government administrative autonomy stands for. And the Supreme Court was very clear that there shall be a third tier of government, which is the local government, and there are certain responsibilities and rules that have been spelled out by the 1999 Constitution as amended. And I'm sure you also agree with me that part of the insecurity we face today in Nigeria stems from the fact that there's absence of governance at the local government level. So what is happening in Edo today, for me, is what one could term as executive rascality, a show of shame, that as at when Mr. President is making progress in establishing and entrenching democracy in Nigeria, that one man will come under the guise of misappropriation and just unilaterally suspend 18 local government chairmen and their vice. And how...
Sorry, sir, just to cut you short, Honorable. By one man, are you referring to the State House of Assembly? Because I think it's the Speaker of the state.
Now, I will get there.
Okay,
the point is that the State House of Assembly did not just wake up, to carry out that suspension.
Okay.
A letter was written to the State House of Assembly, which the governor termed as insubordination by the local government chairman. And this is where we need to get it very clear. The local government chairmen, they are not subordinates of the governor, just like governors are not subordinate of the president. We operate a federal system of government where every state is a federating unit. And that is the same way, the same powers that the state government derives from the constitution is the same powers that the local government derives from the constitution. And the drafters of the constitutions, in their wisdom, said that from time to time, in order not to belabor the National Assembly, that the State Assembly shall make laws for the good governance of the local authorities within, the state. And that is what you see that a lot of governors now are taking advantage of because of their semi-control of the House of Assembly, to now do whatever, that they are doing. But in this case, now, on that same kind of offense, 18 local government chairmen were suspended, same as their vice. It means that you have practically destroyed governance at that local level. And interestingly, you know what is happening today in Edo? You see the rate of insecurity. Yes. Because the government at the local level, they are the ones that actually interface with the community leaders on a day-to-day basis. And once there's absence of governance, you will start to see the reverberating effects with the issues of insecurity and what have you. So for me, like I said, this is just clear case of executive rascality. And I believe that the federal government is doing something about it, because not just once, I've seen on electronic media that the Attorney General of the Federation has come to clearly interpret the Supreme Court's, resolution on the issue, of local government. And trust me, I don't think any responsible government will actually want to destroy governance at that, local level, because that is the government that actually touches the people more. I'm in Abuja. I represent the people in my federal constituency that are miles away from me. But for communication today, they will not have been able to reach me directly. It means that they have to go to my constituency office to be able to talk with me. But for the local government, they know your house, they know your secretariat. They don't need to pay transport to come. So the people know where to take their challenge to. So my advice is that, His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, to do the needful by, reversing himself to call these people back to office, try to reestablish government and governance at the local level in order to guarantee the adequate and required security for Edo people.
Thank you very much. Then I would ask you a personal question. This is 2 years into your stay at the National Assembly. What are your priorities for these first 4 years? Because in the Nigerian political circle, election starts from August next year. Election has started. So what are your priorities? And if you are to assess your your engagements and your priorities so far, how would you score yourself? What would you say you've achieved in this midterm? So what were your priorities coming to the house? How have you been able to navigate them? How have you achieved them? And what's your scorecard if I'm to ask you to score yourself? Because when we finish here on social media, we'll do a poll where your members from your constituents can come, maybe post project pictures, state their needs, to which we'll communicate to your constituency office or to your office in Abuja, so that you could also know, like you rightly said, you listen to the people, you could know where you've gotten it right and what more you need to do to ably represent your people.
Okay, yeah, I'd mentioned earlier that the responsibility of a member of National Assembly, legislator, so to speak, is 1, lawmaking, 2, representation, and 3, oversight. And I'll take it one after the other. On the issue of lawmaking, I am 1 out of 360. So I have come to National Assembly to join hands with my colleagues across the country to make laws for the good governance of our country. And under the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker, House of Representatives of the 10th Assembly, I can tell you that this is about the most organized, assembly, considering what it used to be and the number of laws that have been churned out, and how we have tried to bring in laws that will mitigate the sufferings of Nigeria, and also to guarantee security of lives and properties in our country. And then the issue of representation basically stems from the fact that how are you speaking for your people? How are you being able to attract dividends of democracy back to your federal constituency? And that's where the issue of my priorities, come in. Now, in my own case, it stems from infrastructure to health, to, basically all the needs and wants of my people. I can tell you without missing words that I have done my bit, even though I will not sit here to score myself, because I expect the people to score me, but I can tell you that while I came into office, and considering that I'm relatively a youth, one of my major priorities to see how we can empower our people and train them to see that we take people off the streets. And some of those things that we have done is to see how we train our people in the area of fashion design. We did not just only train them, we empower them with starter pack, giving sewing machines, and also giving a cash of 100,000 naira each, to over 100 of our constituents to, jumpstart and help them kickstart, small businesses in order to, take their attention away from the vices, in the society. We have also not just stopped there. We've done training in terms of poultry to bring birds to our people, and not just give them birds, we also give them starter packs like the feeds, the enzymes, to take care of those birds. And those feeds actually, help them to feed those birds up to matured stage where they can now, sell, get money, and also expand, their business. My people are relatively farmers, and part of the challenge they have always had is, means of transportation. And that is what actually, encouraged me to provide means of transportation for them across the federal constituency. So as we speak, in the space of 2 years, over 200 motorcycles have been supplied to my federal constituency to encourage farmers to go to the hinterlands to bring out their products and to get to the market. Again, that also have a way of boosting economic activities within the locality. Also encourage to make sure that the products that are coming from the hinterland to the main market, they are not because most of these products are perishable goods, and if they don't get to the main market on time, you see that there's wastage. So we have tried to do that. And then I mentioned earlier that we have supplied medical facilities to like Ile Medical Center, in Esan West. We did same at Uruhi Health Center in Esan West. We have built from scratch, a medical center at Okuta Ebele, and also furnished that medical center. We have also renovated and remodeled a health center at Ogua in Esan West local government. In fact, we have just made provision now for the furnishing of that medical center. We have supplied, transformer to aid electricity in several communities across my federal constituency. We have also helped to facilitate job, to give employment to our people, to get them to come into the federal civil service, because you understand that my federal constituency is a university environment. So we have a lot of our teaming youths who are unemployed, who are graduates. So we have also used this opportunity to see how we can bring so many of them, on board. Then we have built schools. As we speak, there are several schools that are ongoing. Some are already completed. We have one in Ijuwele in Esan Central Local Government. We have a current school that is just being completed now at Ewosa, which is going to be, a police college. That's the place is completed with furnitures. We have one that is ongoing at Uwele Primary School, by the Anglican Cathedral. And just before we got here, I'm told that there's a groundbreaking ceremony at the College of Medicine and Brusali University, where they had just started the construction of a kilometer road with side drains. That was also attracted, by, us. And my constituency is known as a place where you don't find water. And part of our challenge has been that, there's no way you can get water, so we have to rely on, using motorized tankers to go get water from other constituency to serve our people. So what we have done is to now, engage the services of water experts and engineers. And by the grace of God, we have been able to complete 4 solar installation boreholes, and the people are fetching water. We have one at Irekbe in the Dumoza community. We have another at Urui community. We have one at Ihonudumu. There is one that is currently ongoing in Wotu in Igwebe local government. And also they have just gone to map another area today in a place they call Udo in Igwebe local government. So these are, and a lot more that we have done. We have also, because of in order to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal, we have also supplied our federal constituency with several trucks of grains, because we practically, the grains that is more valuable in our place is rice. So we have supplied several trucks. We have also supplied, fertilizers to our people to encourage the farmers to grow their yields and, harvest bountifully for, our people. We have provided security, machineries and technological gadgets for security agencies. As we speak, there is a divisional headquarters in my place where they currently occupy a rented apartment. Now, we have also used the opportunity that God has given us as representatives of the people, to build a police station, a modern, police station for the Irekmen division of the Nigerian police. So these are a lot more, that we are doing for our people. And I tell you, Mr. President, I just assented to the 2025 budget. With what we have done with 2024, I can assure you that we are going to triple, such, projects in the 2025, as appropriated and assigned by Mr. President. So we are doing all that we need to do to help our people. We are working hand in gloves with Mr. President to see that the sufferings of Nigerians are not what it used to be, but things get better, so that the suffering is actually reduced. So my priority basically is to see that I look in the eyes of my constituents and they have reasons to smile. And whatever makes them smile is what makes me happy. So I'm here at every point trying to fill their pulse and swing in the direction with which, they're going. And that direction for me should be something that will bring succor to our people, something that will help them have reasons to live for tomorrow. Those are my priorities, in National Assembly. And anything that will help them feel better is what I stand for.
You heard it from the Honorable himself, Right Honorable Marcus Onobun. Don't take it from me. Fact check it yourself. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
We'll look as events unfold. We'll look forward to having you once more on the show, so you can speak truth to power. And we thank you for clearing the air, telling us the facts on the issues, and speaking your unfiltered truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
I also want to say thank you for partners and sponsors for making this program possible. Pure Crest Table Water for sponsorship.
God bless you. Thank you.